Hi, loves. I hope that you're having a good day today. I send you so much love and positive energy and positive vibes. And today, when I was thinking about what to talk to you all about, this powerful voice came into me and said very clearly, forgiveness is a superpower. Forgiveness is a superpower. Now, when you think about forgiveness, right, it's like one of the most challenging things to master. And the action of forgiving is one of the most powerful experiences you can have. And so when I was thinking about my own journey with forgiveness, as a child, I held grudges for a very long time because I thought that in holding grudges and withholding my energy from people, in cutting people out of my life, in not allowing people in anymore, in being angry at someone, I was taking my power back if I felt that they had done something wrong in my life. And I shared with you that as a child and even now, I'm a very emotional person. I feel a lot of things. And when I was growing up, I was an only child on my mom's side. So my parents just had me. And on my father's side, I was the youngest of 9 siblings. And I grew up as an only child with my mom. So my dad, he came into my life when I was about 3 years old. And he was in my life a lot, and then he wasn't. And then he was in my life a lot, and then he wasn't. And because of that, because he traveled a lot, because he wasn't always emotionally available to me, there was a lot of anger that I had toward my father. And there was a lot of grudge and unhappiness. And as I always say, these pockets of energy that I was holding on to in my body. I remember I literally would get knots in my stomach sometimes when I would be on the phone with my father because I was always searching for his love, and I was always looking for his love and his care and attention. And when he was on, when he was here, it was really great. But when he wasn't, I longed for that. And as a child, we reason with ourselves. We try to understand why, our fathers, our mothers, or whomever is an adult figure in our life is not around when we need them to be. And as I got older, that sadness, that wanting to be the daughter that my dad spent a lot of time with, that yearning for my dad's love became, when I was, older, like in my 18-year-old self, 20-year-old self, it became more anger. It became more resentment. It became more, you know what? I don't even want to deal with you anymore because you weren't there for me when I needed you to be there for me. You only showed up in my life when it was convenient for you. And I really felt that way for a long time. And so that was my way of coping with anger, with people that I felt like didn't treat me right, I would just hold a grudge. And I would just not give them my energy anymore. But the truth of the matter was that my dad didn't know anything about that. He just thought, oh, maybe she's busy, right? Maybe she just doesn't have time to pick up my calls. He had no concept of the fact that I was harboring all of this anger and animosity and sadness. And at the root of it was that I wasn't able to forgive. See, the powerful thing about forgiveness, and the thing that really clicked for me, I think maybe around the age of 27 when I started meditating more, was that forgiveness is not about the other person. Forgiveness is about you empowering yourself to let go, release, and move on. Because what I was doing when I was holding in all that anger was I was harboring this, basically having a stone in my stomach, in my solar plexus, my abdomen, of pain that I was holding on to. And I was carrying that heaviness, that weight, that stone with me everywhere I went. And it affected a lot of things in my life, including my relationships, my friendships, my ability to connect with other people. Because I already had this like invisible chip on my shoulder that I carried around since childhood, about feeling insecure about building bonds and relationships with people, because I didn't feel like I had a secure bond and relationship with my own father. But the thing is, when I started to realize that within me was this superpower of forgiveness, and it had nothing to do with my family, with my parents, with my father, and everything to do with me. It was very life-changing and very empowering for me. I shared with you all that I experienced trauma as a little girl, and it was really hard for me to experience what I experienced and forgive, because I was so angry and I had so much pain that was associated with that anger. And I felt like, even though I had no control over the situation, there was a part of me that even blamed myself for what I experienced. And there is a duality or two-part nature of forgiveness, right? Not only when you are forgiving, are you forgiving the other person? When you are forgiving and practicing forgiveness, you are forgiving yourself. And that's the most powerful aha moment, epiphany that I realized, that I experienced at that moment when that came to me. Not only are you forgiving the other person, you are forgiving yourself. Because often when we are angry, there is pain. And often when there is pain, there is something that doesn't sit right with us about whether we should blame ourselves for things that have happened in our lives that we feel bad about, that we feel were unfair, that we feel were unjust. And there's a part of us that really holds on to, well, if I could have done this, then maybe that thing wouldn't have happened to me. And when we do that, we are holding ourselves and our emotional growth and our ability to really be love at one small piece of our lives where we experience something troubling, traumatic, violent, angering. And we don't allow ourselves to heal that energy because we're still holding on to it. But forgiveness is a superpower because it is truly freeing for yourself, for your soul, for your spirit, for your mind, for your emotional sanity. Because it's really about you. I remember one day I was feeling really uncomfortable about a situation. And I meditated on the situation. And in that meditation, it was super powerful because I saw my inner child self, my little girl self. And she was looking at me, and I looked back at her and I said, I'm sorry for what happened to you. It was not your fault. And I love you. And you don't have to protect me anymore. You don't have to protect us anymore. I'm the adult and I'm here to protect you. And you are forgiven. You didn't do anything wrong. Forgive yourself. I forgive you. I free you. I release. Release it. And I gave myself, as an adult self during this meditation, I gave my inner child self a hug. And in that moment, honestly, in that exchange, I truly felt healed. I felt like that aspect of what I was holding on to was able to be released. And sometimes we have to be the ones who forgive ourselves, and we have to be the ones who apologize to ourselves. We have to be our own closure in situations. Because, someone can apologize to you a million times about a situation, but if you are internally holding on to that moment or that traumatic event, and there's partially some guilt that you feel towards yourself or blame that you feel towards yourself, it doesn't really matter what that person says to you until you accept it for yourself, until you are able to apologize to yourself, to forgive yourself. Because whatever we can do for ourselves is what we can do for others. When we can truly learn to look within and to look at all the pockets of healing that's happening with us, and then to look at all the pockets of trauma that we still need to heal and unpack that. only then can we truly radiate healing energy into the world. Only then can we truly forgive others. It's really about the relationship that you build with yourself, with your past self, with your future self, with your present self. That's what's at the core. And, I always like to look up definitions of things. And when I was thinking about forgiveness, I was looking at different definitions. And then I saw one that I thought was really awesome because it was a kid's definition of the Merriam-Webster dictionary. And it was a kid's definition of forgiveness. And I love that because, when it's geared towards a child, it tends to be more simplistic, tends to be more direct, so that the understanding can be reached on any level of understanding and learning. So the kid's definition of forgiveness is the act of ending anger at. That's it. Forgiveness is the act of ending anger at. And when you think about anger and where anger comes from, right? Anger is a strong feeling of being upset or annoyed because of something wrong or bad. Anger is a strong feeling of being upset or annoyed because of something wrong or bad. And so if we think about it that way, right? When you say ending anger at something, or ending anger at, and anger being something that you're upset about, that's wrong or bad. When you're able to look at that situation and look at it from a different perspective, look at it even removed from who you are now and who you were at that time, there's much power and freedom in being able to do that. So a lot of anger is rooted in fear. And when we are scared, we feel pain, we feel sadness, we feel so many different emotions. But I think at the core is we're angry at something that is out of our control, that we feel that we are unable to do anything about. And that's where I think a lot of grudges come from. It's like we hold a grudge because we feel powerless in a situation. But when you step into your power and you accept yourself for everything that you've experienced, and you're able to transmute, right, to shift every experience that you've had that hasn't been super positive in your life into a positive, right? Looking at what kind of growth you were able to do through that experience, or what kind of learning you gained from that experience, or who you became from that experience. There's a lot of power in that. A lot of times we focus on, well, I could have done this and I should have done this, and that leads to depression. But when we focus on, because of this today, I am who I am, and that is good, because we can start to really shift the positive energy and make it such a powerful life that we're living. So when I think about how I have learned to forgive and what has helped me to forgive, and remembering that forgiveness is not about the other person, it is about you. What I do is I always face it, right? And I think to myself, what are you holding on to? Face it. What are you holding on to? And then I feel it, right? Why are you holding on to it now, today? Why are you holding on to it? And then I release it, right? And you can release by accepting, forgiving, and releasing. Accepting, forgiving, and releasing. So face it. What am I holding on to? Feel it. Why am I holding on to this now? And then release it. Accept it. Okay, this happened, right? Then forgive. I'm sorry that this happened to you. And this is you talking to yourself. You know, we have to forgive ourselves. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't have to keep blaming yourself. You did the best you could in that situation. And then releasing. Letting it go. Now, is any of this easy? No, it's not easy. It's not easy. But this is what has really helped me on my own self-love journey, on my own healing journey, to feel more free, because forgiveness is freedom. When you are able to release and forgive, you can ignite such a powerful, powerful feeling within yourself, such a powerful, powerful freedom within yourself. And you can really feel the superpower of forgiveness. I send you so much love. I hope that this video inspired you. I hope that it is uplifting to you and encouraging to you. I know that what I'm talking about is a very sensitive topic, and I know that it's not easy to forgive. But it is when we forgive that we are able to be free. And so, be gentle with yourself, be kind with yourself, and understand that you have the power within yourself to heal. You can heal yourself. I send you so much love and good energy and positivity, and I love you all so much, and I'm so happy that you've joined me for this video. You know, I'm trying to do as many of these inspirational talks as I can on my journey to 35, which is at the end of this month. I send you so much love. Please share this video with someone who you know needs to hear this message. I love you. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. May you be inspired and be gentle with yourself. We are healing one day at a time. I love you, love. Keep your head up. I'll see you in the next video.